Hello everyone, Pierce Nation here. Welcome back to a new deck profile that I have for you all today. You all will be excited about this new build that I've got going on. In fact, it is the first tier 0 I have had since Drytron. Literally tier 0. I've not met a mirror matchup that can actually beat this deck in general because of all the different cards it has in it and every different thing that it has going on. And if you don't know the deck I'm talking about, I am talking about the new Dinomorphia deck. The new Dinomorphia deck is so powerful that there are almost no outs to it. And if you get deep enough into a game, get into an ultimate boss monster, you cannot win. There is no plausible way that you can win, unless if you even the game state, and that's very hard to do against Dinomorphias, let me tell you. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get into it. I'm going to show you the deck and some combos with it and show you exactly why it's tier 0 and why this will be the first deck that I show on this channel that can stand up to branded. So give me a minute and we'll dive right into it. Just a second. So with the main deck, here's how this runs. Okay, so you're going to run your 3 copies of Dinomorphia Theresia. So what Theresia does is it sets a spell and trap when it's normal or special summon. It sets a Dinomorphia trap directly from deck to your spell and trap zones. And then if this card is popped by battle or card effect, it can float into the other Dinomorphia in this deck by banishing 1 trap from the graveyard. And also she gains 500 ATK when you're below 2000 life points. So Theresia is a very good card. And she pairs off with you're going to run double copies of Dinomorphia Diplos. Diplos is a really good card, especially in this because of his effect. When he has normal special summon, you can send 1 Dinomorphia card from deck to grave, so he's basically a foolish burial. And then if you are below 2000 life points, you can inflict 500 damage to your opponent. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, he floats into the other one, which is Theresia, by banishing 1 trap from your graveyard due to Diplos' effect. So Diplos and Theresia are your floaters, and they do very good for that. I run 1 Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Ultimate Conductor Tyranno is very, very good for a lot of reasons. Obviously, if you've never seen Ultimate Conductor, allow me to explain this guy. So you can special summon him by banishing 2 dinosaur monsters from your graveyard. You can special summon this card. This card also has another effect where you can pop a card on field or in your hand and flip all your opponent's monsters face down. And for every card, and it can attack all monsters your opponent controls. And for every card that it attacks, it sends it to the graveyard and inflicts 1000 damage. So this card is very, very powerful and it's a game ender if you get Ultimate Conductor. And Ultimate Conductor is Tyranno. So that's one of our win conditions as Ultimate Conductor. We're running 1 Miscellaneous Source. Miscellaneous Source is really good just for making your dinosaur monsters unaffected by card effects. And then you can banish it and another dinosaur monster from the graveyard equal to the level of ones you banish due to this effect. You can special summon 1 from the graveyard. So if you banish this card and Theresia, you can special summon Theresia straight from deck. Very nice there. Miscellaneous is a very good card, limited to 1. So don't run more than 1 or you'll be running a little illegal. 1 Ghost Ogre, Snow Rabbit. There's a reason for playing this card, and this card sets up the ultimate synchro in this deck, otherwise known as the Psychic in Punisher, and that is really the only play that this card has. It's in there just for that reason. For the time I'm running 1 Effect Veiler. Don't really need this card. I just use it just in case if it falls around. I can cut Effect Veiler at any time, but for now I'm going to leave it in the deck as it's not really hurting anything. So we will leave Effect Veiler in the deck. Obviously, you target one monster your opponent controls, and you can negate its effects during the main phase. For this for the spells, I run 3 copies of Fossil Dig. Fossil Dig is a very good card. At 1 level 6 or lower, dinosaur monster from deck to hand. That is just in case if you don't pull into 3s yet. So that's another way to do it. Is with Fossil Dig. Fossil Dig is very good for getting you into the game. And we run 3 emergency teleports. This is your, basically, this is your win condition. This is to get your Ghost Ogre out. So, more than likely you get into this very, very quick. And you can end the game very, very quick, especially with this deck. This deck is ridiculous, and with 3 emergency teleports, it makes all the difference. I run 2 double evolution pill. If you're not running 2 double evolution pill, especially with the Dinomorphias, you're kind of missing out, because that's power that you could have on your board by banishing 1 dinosaur monster in your graveyard or hand, and 1 non-dinosaur monster from your graveyard or hand. So, double evolution pill. I run it as 2. You can't go wrong with 2. So, you should be running it if you're using this deck. And for the last card I'm using, Change of Heart. Change of Heart to select the ban list, and at the probably one of the worst times that it could leave the ban list. I'm going to take full advantage of Change of Heart, because I know the power of this card. This card has the ability to basically end the game. If you guys are new to Yu-Gi-Oh! And you've never seen Change of Heart, Change of Heart targets 1 monster your opponent controls, and you take control of it until the end phase. Change of Heart is a broken card, and I'm glad to see it back at 1. Now for the traps, I got quite a few of them, because if you believe it or not, we are using a bunch of traps. So we're first going to start off with our newest trap, Dinomorphia Frenzy. So Dinomorphia Frenzy, you're going to run 3 copies of it. So basically, I'm going to have to read it, because I'm new to it. I know what it does, but I'm going to make sure that you guys know the full effect of this card and what it does. So let me grab this one. Dinomorphia Frenzy. During your opponent's main phase, pay half your life points, fusion summon 1 Dinomorphia monster from your extra deck, using only 1 monster from your deck and 1 monster from your extra deck. As fusion material, when your opponent activates a card or effect while your life points are 2,000 or less, you can banish this card from the graveyard. You take no effect damage. Now note, that is effect damage. So this does not get around the Blazing Masquerade Dragon, because that's not effect damage, that's cost. So 3 Frenzy, you can't go wrong there. And you're also going to still be running 3 Dinomorphia Domain. Domain, this is your main fusion card. During the main phase, yours or your opponent's, you pay half your life points, you fusion summon 1 fusion Dinomorphia monster that's listed literally on the card. So if you're going from your actual deck, you can get in the Kintragina or Stealthberg by sending 1 of both of Theresia and Diplos. And then, or you can do it from field as well. I think you can go from hand, right? Let's see. From hand, deck, or field, yeah. Hand, deck, or field, you can get into Kintragina, and then you can use the effect of Kintragina to send that off if you only have Domain, and you can use Kintragina and 1 Theresia from the deck in order to make your Rexstorm, which is the ultimate boss monster in this deck. So, and there are ways to keep your plays rolling. And the lower life points are, you can get a little shotgun happy, the better. And you're going to run 2 Dinomorphia Alert. Alert, you can target, you can target up to 2 Dinomorphian monsters in your graveyard, up to the combined level of 8. Again, this is up to, so that means you can get Kintragina, Stealthberg, and you can get Rexstorm back from your graveyard. But when you do, you can only, like I said, the combined level can only be 8. So anything more than that's a no-go. And once you do, for the rest of the turn, you cannot supposed to summon any monsters except for Dinomorphias. So pay close attention to that card. I don't ever use alert except when I'm on my opponent's turn. I only run one Dinomorphia Brute. Brute, you can pay off your life points, destroy one card you control, one card your opponent controls. This is not a targeting effect. Very nice. You can also banish this card for effect damage. Alert, you can do it for the same reason. It's effect damage. So, there you go. And I'm playing one Dinomorphia Sonic. So Sonic is a negate. You can negate a spell or trap card when it is activated, and you, on resolution of this effect, you pop one of your Dinomorphia cards you control. This is a counter trap. Unfortunately, it can't be negated, or it can't be responded to except with other counter traps, which is nice. And this card is a little bit different. You can banish this card from your graveyard, and you take no battle damage. All the Dinomorphia counter traps say that, but that is the only Dinomorphia counter trap we are running. In this deck, you're going to run 3 Solemn Judgments. Of course, we're killing our life points, so if you Solemn Judgment to make your play go off, you're going to be just fine. It's not really going to bother a damn thing. We're running also 3 Solemn Strikes. If you run Solemn Strike, you're going to be right in the ballpark of where you want to be. You'll be just fine. Solemn Strikes are great. And with Stealth Bergia, once you get below 2,000, you don't have to pay for these or your Judgments or any of your Dinomorphia effects, which are perfect for this deck. So, that being said, that is a great setup for you. Like I said, these are your Omnigate win conditions. Like, this will help you fight Branded. So if you're looking for a deck that can help you fight Branded, this is the one. Still running 3 Infinite Impermanence. I feel Infinite Impermanence is right where it needs to be. It's a great card where you can play it from hand. I like it. So it can stop your Aluber, or you can stop Fallen Albaz when he activates his effect, which is nice. We are running, again, this is a deck where if cards get destroyed, you're in good hands. So I'm running 2 Torrential Tribute. I was running 3, but 2's fine. I had to make some cuts so I could be right at 41. So Torrential's pretty good, can also stop Branded as well. And one that stops them more than anything. And if you don't have any copies of this, and you're thinking about building this deck, I would run 2 Ferret Flames. If you get a little hasty, I'd run 3. I only use 2 because I feel like 2 is all I need, and this is like an if I get in this situation, but more than likely I don't get in this situation. So basically what Ferret Flames does is, when you activate this card, if the combined attack of all face-up monsters your opponent controls is higher than your life points, which they always more than likely will be, make your opponent shuffle monsters they control into the deck of their choice, so that the combined attack and the remaining monsters they control become less than or equal to your life points. So more than likely they'll be shuffling every card they control into their deck, because we're going to mill life points, and I'm going to put life point counter up so you guys can see exactly what it does and what it means. So pretty good there, and that is the end of the main deck. So with that being said, the Dinomorphia main deck is done. Now we're going to get into the extra deck, and I'm going to start off with the links. So the links that I'm running the Dark Charmer, which he's alright. I just use it for like Branded, so I can remove one of the cards I have in the graveyard, and then link, and then possibly summon a card and get into what is the one of my good links, Boral Sword. Boral Sword Dragon is very, very good, and I like him in this build because I don't have to play a shit ton of links to get into this play. So it's very nice to only be able to play 2 links and be able to get right where I need to be. Like I said, these links can be eliminated. I'm using them because I feel like that they do a pretty good job. With my Xyz monsters, I'm using the Zodiac Chakran. She's 2 level 4s. You know, your Dinomorphias. Pretty easy setup. And once you get her, you can just start stacking and then make Zeus. She's one of the stacking materials. Another one is Bobor. He's a good one. Or, you know, you can go off Zeus on him because where he can attack directly for 0 damage. Technically, since he battled, you can go straight into Zeus, which is fantastic off of him. I use the Drill Driver Vespanito because my level 4s, I can stack Drill Driver right on top of them, which gives another material for Zeus, which is always great. And it's got 2,500, so more than likely you can attack directly. And then I do run Zeus. Zeus the Divine Arsenal, I feel like it's very good in this build, especially with the way these are set up. It gives him at least, I think it's like, it's either like 2 or 3 activated effects from him. So he's very good for that. So with Zeus, you're in good company. I'm telling you that right now. Now, for my fusion monsters, I run 2 Dinomorphia Stealth Bergia. Stealth Bergia is very good. This is the card that allows me that once I get below 2,000 that I don't have to pay anymore for my trap cards or my Dinomorphia effects. So very good here. I mean, it's beautiful to use Stealth Bergia for that. And also, whatever effect you try to use, I can change Stealth Bergia's effect to it to make you pay damage for the original attack that your monster had. So he's got a burn damage effect. And then if he is destroyed by battle or card effect, he can float Diplos or Theresia back on. More likely it's going to be Theresia. I'm just going to be honest. So Stealth Bergia is very good for that. In this deck, I'm running 3 Dinomorphia Kentragina. Now, Kentragina is a very good card. She is very good. Now, although she does have 4,000 attack, here's the thing about Kentragina. She can copy a Dinomorphia trap and pay half your life points when doing so. And that trap becomes her effect, so she can fusion summon again. So you can get into Rex Term or you can go into Stealth Bergia, depending on the situation you're in. My inboard, I usually go Rex Term, Kentragina, Stealth Bergia, because with those 3, you pretty much got it. This card gains attack or loses attack equal to your life points, so you want your life points to be very, very low. So Kentragina actually has some alright attack, and then if she is destroyed by battle or card effect, she can float Theresia or Diplos back. But also, since she banishes traps, Dinomorphia traps in the graveyard, and the effect becomes her effect, you could use Alert and Brute for those as well. So, Kentragina is very good. And for the last Dinomorphia fusion monster I am using in this deck, and the last fusion monsters I am using, I am running 2 Dinomorphia Rexterm. Now this card opens up the ball game for Dinomorphia. And Dinomorphia becomes a lot more powerful now than it had in the past. So, what this card does, and I will read you exactly what it does. It has 3,000 attack, 0 defense. Its fusion materials is a Dinomorphia fusion monster and a Dinomorphia monster. Your opponent cannot activate the effects of monsters they control that have higher attack than your life points, negating the activation, not the effect. I'm not really even negating the activation. You just can't activate it. It says your opponent cannot activate. So, good wording there. Also, you can pay half your life points. And, you can pay half your life points. The attack of all monsters your opponent controls become equal to your life points, meaning that their effects cannot activate once Rex Term resolves. And I'm milling my life points, so I really don't care at that point. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, I can special summon one level 6 or lower Dinomorphia monster from the graveyard. So, I could float into Kentrigina, use Kentrigina's effect, banish alert, and she will become alert or domain, whichever one you want it to be, and then you can jump right back into this combo and get right back into it. Like I said, they all consistently float, and I'm running 2 synchro monsters. I'll start off with FA Dawn Dragster. So Dawn Dragster is very good, and in this deck, he really helps out, especially when I have to emergency teleport and use one of my level 4s. So FA Dawn Dragster, this is why I'm using it. It's 1 tuner, 1 non-tuner. Gains attack equal to its level times 300. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing damage. Each time FA spell card or effect is activated, you can increase this card's level by 1, which we don't have any, so we won't worry about that. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a spell or trap card or effect, quick effect, you can reduce this card's level by 2, and if you do, negate the activation. Again, that's a once per turn effect, so it's a once per turn negate with FA Dawn Dragster. So, Dragster is good there, and our ultimate win condition is Psychic in Punisher. You probably can't even read it, but that is Psychic in Punisher. What he does, we put it this way. He is 1 tuner, 1 non-tuner. He is a level 11 synchro. When your life points are less than or equal to your opponent's, this synchro summon card is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. You're not super polying this guy. Good luck. Once per turn, you can pay 1,000 life points and target 1 monster you control and 1 card your opponent controls, banish them at the start of the battle phase. You can make this card gain attack equal to the difference in your life points and your opponent's. This is not something that you can negate, because this card is unaffected by card effects. So good luck when this bad boy comes out. Now with that being said, I want to give these cards a nice good shuffle, and then we're going to test it, and I'm going to show you exactly how fast this thing works and what you can do with it. Give me just a second. Okay, so basically starting off with this deck is it's a trap deck, so you do want to go first. Most importantly, let me get my life point counter up here. You do want to go first. That is the most important step in this whole thing, is knowing what you want to do. We're going to set this like right about here, so you guys can see it as I'm doing this. So as you all can see my 8,000 here. So I'm basically going to play it backwards for you guys, and I'm going to go step by step so you guys know exactly what's going on here. I did shuffle and I have not looked at them, so we'll see what we get here. Okay, so with this, your best bet. And let me try to shuffle this again. I just pulled 2 Ferret Flames, and I only run 2 in this deck. I guess I didn't shuffle good enough. So basically you want to go first, since it is trap based. You will be fine no matter what hand you get. Trust me. It is very, very, very consistent. So we'll go ahead and cut. And we will draw our 5. Draw your 5. I'm going to set 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to activate Fossil Dig. Now, activating Fossil Dig, you're going to add your Theresia if it doesn't get ashed. If it does, it isn't the worst thing in the world. Effect resolves, add Theresia. You're going to normal summon Theresia. And you're going to go to your Dinomorphia Frenzy. And you're going to set Frenzy. You're going to pass turn. So now we go to your opponent's turn, and you're going to activate Dinomorphia Frenzy, and you're going to shotgun it. Let's see. I do have... You won't have any responses if they go for you, but we're just going to go ahead and activate it anyway. you can shotgun it and you'll be okay. So your frenzy will resolve. You're going to send your, you have to, hang on. I'm trying to activate it like a different card here. So send Theresia from your deck, and then send Kentragina from your deck, and you can get into your Dinomorphia Rex turn. So now what you can do is you can activate Dinomorphia Domain and pay half. We are now at 2,000. I will tell you everything that happens here. And you will send Diplos and your on-field Theresia to get into Kentragina. So you're in a Kentragina now. How neat. Then you're going to activate Kentragina's effect. And you can either banish Domain or Frenzy. In this case, I'm going to say I'm playing Branded, and I'm going to go ahead and banish Domain, activating the effect. Getting down to 1,000. I got some more materials first. Sending did I send them both? I shouldn't have. There's a Diplo somewhere. Where did I send both my three? I got Theresia. I was about to say, I know I ran 2 Diplos in this. Oh, it's in my hand. I'm an idiot. Bros, I never do this. I promise. Because you can still do that. And then go to Stealthorgia. Defense mode. Okay. So now that we're into our Dinomorphia package here. Then what you can do is you want to keep shotgunning. Alert, we don't pay cost due to Stealthorgia. Diplos and Theresia will float right back. Resolves. Effect the Theresia. We'll set another Frenzy. And effect of Diplos will send Sonic. Very good there. So basically what happens here is now with the, say we have used 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've used 4 traps this turn. Or 3 technically, because Sonic was sent to the grave. Okay. So with that being said, they now cannot activate the effects of cards over 1,000 life points. Your Rex turn has locked them out. Stealthorgia, you can keep activating effects for free, and there's no cost, and you're set up to go Xyz, or you know, if they decide to swing into them, it's not really going to do anything. And also we have Brute set to pop one of them. So that being said, draw for next turn. Draw Solemn Strike, set Solemn Strike. You swing 3k, 3k for 6. If you hit directly, because we got Solemn Strike to pay for free. And then we activate Domain. Actually, we can't do it that way. I forget Frenzy is different than Domain. I should set Frenzy. Yep. Because that can't go from field, can it? Nope. they both have to go from deck. So in this case, just in turn, you draw next turn. Draw double evolution pill. I don't think we have any targets for double evolution, so no. So basically, this is your ultimate win condition, and he keeps your opponent from activating the effects. Anytime these are popped, they'll just keep floating back and forth. So basically, win the game. Because we had double evolution pill, we could have went into the Dark Charmer. Alright, so I'm back. I had to leave for a bit. So basically, you would still end up with emergency teleport. I'm gonna load back up my neuron now that I've returned, and now that I've got it set and ready to roll. As you can see, I got my emergency teleport about 2 draws later. So I could get into Psycho End if I wanted to, but with the current way the first game went, there's no need for it. So we'll go on to game 2, and I'll show you if the moment arises, if we'll get into it. I'm just going to go ahead and pull them all up here for a minute, and we're going to get into a second game. And you guys can watch me, and I'll talk while I do this, so that you guys can understand how overpowering that these can be. Yeah, I need my extra deck. But you always want to start off with your Theresia. Your Theresia will start off every combo you have. I've got to sort out my Kentrigina out of my grave. That's great. Because I had Frenzy set, and let's see, I think I had, yeah, Brute. I had Brute from the word go. I didn't use it because there's not really a combo you can pop off with by popping them. That's really just in case if you don't have anything else. It's very good for that. So let me get these in there, and we will go on to a second game. So with Dinomorphia, I like them because with the new Neuron, don't know when they updated it or if it's always been a thing, but now you can calculate your life points every time you cut it in half, which is very fantastic because I get to some odd numbers sometimes, and Neuron calculates it for me so that I don't have to calculate my own life points, and that it can always know exactly when I go down to a certain extent, which is fantastic. So as you know, with the Dinomorphias, your main goal is to mill your life points as fast as you can, and then end up with a end board that can't be busted, which can happen. So let me just go ahead and cut here, and I'll draw my 5, and we will get rolling, no matter what these 5 are. All right, here we go. So, actually, we start off with a very good hand. So I'm going to set 1, set 2, set 3, and set 4. And normal summon Theresia. Effect goes off. And you're going to grab Domain. Now remember, your Frenzy is once per turn, so don't mess up. And also your Domain is once per turn. So, again, don't mess up on those. In turn, first and foremost, you're going to Domain. Send Theresia and send Diplos from deck. You want Domain first on this roll. I always Domain first. I never go into Rex turn first, because if Domain gets asked, I don't really care. So we're going to go Kentrigina. And I'm going to see. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pop off the effect of Kentrigina to banish Domain. Again, you're not really putting yourself in jeopardy by doing this, by the way. So you're going to throw Diplos and Theresia in the grave. So now you've got 4 in grave. And you're going to special summon yourself a Stealth Bergia. Okay. Now specifically, we're going to activate Dinomorphia Frenzy. Let's see. I done that wrong. Hang on. I don't want Stelbergia, actually. I wanted to go Kentragina first. Now remember, Kentragina's effect is once per turn. You don't want to go Stelbergia because then you can't mill your life points anymore. So then we're going to Frenzy off of one of our Kentraginas. And the last Theresia that is in this deck. The reason you do this is simply for the fact of milling your life points, getting yourself in a viable situation to where right now, with Rex turn coming out, monsters that have 1,000 attack can activate their effects. But here in a minute, now that we got Rex turn out, we're gonna try and mill again. And we're going to say we're going to activate this effect, and we're going to activate Solemn Strike. So I'm going to activate Judgment. I'll pay my half for Judgment. And I will still resolve my Rex Terms effect. T50 there. Lay that back down, please. And now here's what you can do in this situation. You can activate Ferret Flames, return all monsters your opponent controls that are more than your life points of their choice, which the whole field's going to go at this point because I don't know. There's no branded matchup that's going to have a monster with 250 or less attack, so that's going to be every single one of them. And if they decide that they are going to triple tactics, I'm going to activate Sonic, and I'm going to target Kentragina, send her to the graveyard, and let's see, yep. And once I do, and since I did, I'm going to do that, and then Kentragina's effect's going to pop off, and we're going to special summon Theresia. Theresia is going to set another Dinomorphia Frenzy. Or do I want? No, I don't want Frenzy. I want Alert. That's the smarter thing to do there. So in turn, technically, this would be game. If I drew, let's see, I draw emergency teleport. That is game. Allow me to explain, because you're going to emergency teleport, and you're going to go into your Ghost Girl. You're going to go your Ghost Ogre. Okay, it's a level 3 tuner, so psychic tuner, so emergency teleport can grab it. Emergency teleport resolves. You're then going to synchro summon using Ghost and Rex Term. Send them both to grave. You want to get into Psycho in Punisher. Then you're going to activate Alert, pay half. We now have 63. And we are going to special summon back Rex Term. And when we swing, now that it is 63 to 8,000, that is a 7,900 and I think 37. So it would gain 7,937 during the battle phase. So this thing would be well over 11,000. So you basically just hit with Psycho in, and that's game. Because there are no monsters besides your hand traps that are going to activate with 63. Unless if you're playing a very, very weird deck, and Branded does not stand up to that. I can promise you that. There's no monster that they can summon that they can get that effect off. Not even Tragedy. So with Rex Term, you can easily stop everything just with one card. And just for the sheer fact of what I can do on that, I can actually activate Kentragina's effect to banish Alert and get back a Kentragina. How crazy is that? this is basically your inboard, and this is what you try to accomplish every time. And that's why we run the emergency teleports and everything the way we do, is so you can end up in a board like this. One you cannot break, because Psycho End is unaffected by all card effects. It doesn't matter what you do, because Psycho End is well over 11,000, and you can't do anything to him because I'm so low. This is the board you want when you're trying to win a game. And my next 5 draws are going to be solid. Ferret Flames, Falsidig, Frenzy, Alert, and Double Pill of Illusion. Either way, you're going to die. Doesn't matter what you do, I've got it covered. So we'll go on to a game 3, and if I have time, I'll do a game 4. Just because in my prior videos, I normally don't go over a combo quite like this, but in this one, I'm definitely going to, just to show you guys all of the power of the Dinomorphias and why they are 2-1, or 2-0, excuse me. It's going to take a while for there to be a deck that can actually stop this. For real, this is not like this is not going to be like a format thing. From what I've seen for the next format that come out, it doesn't really have anything that stands up to Dinomorphias. So Dinomorphias are kind of broken, and there's not really anything that can stop them. Yeah, the only way to beat this deck is to hit it early, and sometimes you can't do that because of all the different negates that we have built up into it. I'm not saying that it's indestructible. I'm just saying that it's definitely a tier O. It could definitely go 11-0 if it gets the right momentum. Because as we all know, hand traps are a thing, and it can stop a lot of things from activating, especially Ghost Bell, because everybody's going to be using those in their decks. So just be prepared for that. I'm going to add 2 Ghost Bell to this eventually. So on this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set 1, set 2, set 3, and we'll normal summon Diplos, use the effect. So with his effect, we're actually going to send, because you have to be smart about this. Can't be dumb. Now this one's tough. So I'm going to send Theresia Grave. I feel like that's the best thing for me to do. And then I'm going to have to in turn, unfortunately. And whatever card my opponent plays, I'm going to have to use Infinite Impermanence on it, which is fine. And then the second card they play, I've got to activate a second Infinite Impermanence to bust these 2 columns. So then the third play, I have to activate Solemn Judgment to stop anything there. And then basically when this card gets popped, because it will, I'll activate the effect, banish Solemn Judgment, and I'll special summon Theresia. And then Theresia will set Frenzy. There you go. And now you can play on. Because what's going to end up happening here is, now that Theresia is out, I'm going to assume they're going to have something to bust Theresia now. So when Theresia is destroyed, I can activate the effect again, banish Infinite Impermanence, bring out Diplos. And it's going to be your in board for now, and you're going to draw for turn. Set 1. And I'm going to have to activate Dinomorphia Frenzy, pay half. Unless you kind of got to pray you don't get dashed. At this point, you shouldn't, because if Diplos is activating, you shouldn't get ashed. But I'm not saying you won't, you just shouldn't. So I'll throw out 3Z at the bottom of my deck, and then I will throw out a Kentragina to special summon Kentragina, and then proceed to use the effect to banish Frenzy. Throw out a Stealth Brogia and a Diplos on my deck, so that I can get into Rex turn. It's a bit of an odd start, but it still works. And then you can actually win the game right here, oddly enough. So you can activate Ultimate Conductor Tyranno in hand, banish Diplos and Stealth Brogia, special summon Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, activate the effect, pop Diplos. Diplos' effect is going to activate. You banish Infinite Impermanence, you special summon Theresia, and then you set Domain. Or Alert, my bad. Because that'd be pointless to go Domain. And basically, if they've got 5 monsters on board, bang, 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 5,000. You hit for your 3, and you hit for 3. Or if somehow they survive, you draw Frenzy. You set Frenzy. What I would do is I would activate Sonic to negate whatever. Pop Theresia. I don't know if I don't have any traps. And then, proceed with my play here. Or you could pop Kentragina and then, go on from there. But more than likely, you're not going to be able to fight, because the minute I pop, I'm going to go Alert, and I'm going to go Theresia Diplos. Both effects are going to activate simultaneously. So we're going to go with Theresia to set Domain, and we're going to go with Diplos to send Brute. Or did I already have Brute? No, I didn't have Brute. So then you send Brute, and then the following turn, you do it all over again. You Domain. Yep. Let's see. Do you have Domain? Yeah, you Domain. These two. And you can get into either, you know what? Yeah, we'll do it that way. Yeah, we'll Kentragina. We'll pay half. Looks like I gotta pay half twice because I activated Sonic. And then you can activate Kentragina again. Let's see, where is... Activate her effect to banish Alert. And you go Kentragina, attack mode. And now they've all got 3875. And you got a full board of monsters, and you're ready to go. And we still have plenty of cards to play with. That is the speed of Dinomorphia. So with that being said, I'm going to give you the perfect hand for Dinomorphia. So give me just a second. Get all these back in here. As you know, Psyker End is our ultimate win condition. But we do have other methods to be able to win, like Ultimate Conductor and Rex Turn, or Kentragina's especially, because they, like I said, these cards just basically float. And when they float into each other, it is so easy to get stuff off. So, with that being said, the deck is very, very powerful, and there's not a whole lot that's going to stop it, especially branded, when you're such at a low life point count to begin with. So, and when you're playing cards like Psycho in Punisher, it's only a matter of time before you win. So So I'm going to give you a good shuffle real quick. But basically, with the Dinomorphias, you want to mill your life points as fast as you can. There are cards in here that will keep you alive. But if you're playing this deck and you see Masquerade Dragon, unfortunately, you're going to have to try to go Stalbergia as fast as you can. Unfortunately, it's not going to save you if you can't get into Stalbergia, because if you've got a low life point counter and they go Masquerade, unfortunately, you're going to be stuck. So that's why I try to negate everything to keep them from getting into that point. Normally, when they get into Masquerade, that's a good hand. Yeah, I was going to give you guys a perfect hand, so hang on here. So, one card you need is Theresia. Second card you need is Ferret Flames. Third card you need is Emergency Teleport. The fourth card you need is Frenzy. Let me see if I can find it. It's Frenzy, and then your miscellaneous swords. Or you could, instead of like Ferret Flames, let me take Ferret Flames back real quick. You could go Solemn Judgment. That way you can make sure your play gets off. So yeah, we'll just shuffle these back in real quick. Give me just a minute. That way I can get some actual luck-based draws after just picking the cards out I needed. Now, don't get me wrong, this deck can go second. It's just not very strong when it goes second, because your opponent probably already has a board, and you're trying to break through that board. And if they have any responses to the stuff you're doing, it could be detrimental to your success. So just keep that in mind. So basically, if you start with this, which is Solemn Judgment, Miscellaneous, Theresia, Frenzy, and Teleport, you can win the game on the second turn. Technically your third turn, because of the way that Yu-Gi-Oh system goes, your turn is first, opponent's is second, and then yours would be third. So on your third turn you can win. This is the absolute perfect hand. You got your Judgment, Miscellaneous, your Theresia, your Frenzy, and your Teleport. These are like ultimate win conditions. So if you go Theresia first, they'll more than likely try to negate the effect. You send Miscellaneous Source, and it's now unaffected by card effects. So then you can go and you can grab Domain. You want to grab Domain as fast as you can, because you want to get them in the grave first. Then, once you start getting Theresia, because it'll set, you're going to set Frenzy, and you're going to set your Judgment. What's going to happen here is you're going to go ahead and end turn. So let me reset this, because Miscellaneous now is active in the graveyard. So once you get two in there, just banish one of them and grab Theresia, because that's what you're setting up to do here with this board. You go in turn, so you're going to activate. You need, let's see, do we need to go Frenzy first? Yeah, we need to start negating, so we'll go Frenzy first. We'll say our opponent Ash Blossoms. You'll respond with Solemn Judgment and just go ahead and have it. So now we're here, and this is the end of the chain. So with that being the end of the chain, you're going to special summon Rex turn by sending one Kendrigina and one Theresia from deck to grave. So here, we're now here. We now have one. So now you're going to go Domain. And Domain has an opportunity to be stopped, but more than likely your opponent does not have more than one negate for Domain. So you should be good to go ahead and send your materials and fusion summon again. Send Diplos and Theresia. Diplos, Theresia. You'll go Kendrigina. Activate the effect Kendrigina. to banish, is it Domain? Or is it Frenzy? Let's see what I got here. Actually, got one Diplos. It doesn't really matter which one it is because I do have one of each. So I want to go with Domain. And then I can use my 3Z on field and one Diplos out of the deck. Let's see, Diplos. There's a way at the top. There it is. It's in the graveyard. And you can get into Stealth Bergia. So now you do not pay. Yep. So now I think I calculated it right. I may, let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and just, I don't remember if I did or not. Because I halved. So I'd be at 2,000. Okay, I've missed some chain links here, so hang on. So that takes it to 4, takes it to 2, 1, 500. So I should be at 500. I was about to say, I'm missing some activations here. That's why you need to take your time with this deck and don't rush it. So now that I am here, now I don't pay for Dinomorphia effects. Now you can activate monsters above 500, and now this has 3,500. And then it's by battle or card effect. I can float into one or the other. Sometimes, like, more than likely your opponent does not have something with 3,500 or more. Normally they'll try to pop this, and when they do, we'll be just fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw for turn. Fossil Dig. Activate Fossil Dig. Now for this, I'm gonna go ahead and say that this gets ashed as well. That's fine. I'll just emergency teleport because you're trying to bait with that so that you can do this. Your Ghost Ogre. And when you do so, all you have to do is first activate the effect. Let's see here. I just have Frenzy, so we're not going to do that. We're just going to go ahead and proceed to Synchro Summon into Psycho in Punisher. So use 1, use 2. Psychic in. He'll gain 7750. And that's pretty much it. That's all she wrote. So, the only way that, okay, so let's say I don't pick up Domain or any of those, which I have in every hand, actually, so, because with these cards, you can get into every single one of them pretty quickly, and there's not really much your opponent can do, but just sit and just pray and hope they don't die, which you're going to kill them. I'm just going to tell you this right now. They are going to die because they just don't have enough firepower. Like, Branded and Heroes, like, they look great on paper. I mean, they're fucking fantastic. The only thing that really kills them is they go to the same plays every time. They go Chimera, Masquerade, Albion, Mirror Jade. I mean, I've seen it over and over and over, and everyone's playing them. I'm like, well, there has to be a way to stop it. Actually, there are multiple ways that you can stop it. So let's say you open up with Diplos and Ghost Ogre. And you have, what was it? Shit. What was the play I was trying to think of? Oh, I don't have it in my hand. So let's say, as I'm going to have to be hypothetical here and say that I have Ultimate Conductor in hand and I have I've sent Theresia to grave due to Diplo's effect, and we have made it here. And where the fuck did it go? All of a sudden, all the cursing. Just because I can't find the card I'm looking for. Okay, so I have emergency teleport. Okay, so let's make this scenario. Okay, so I do have Diplos. Diplos looks great. It looks beautiful. I emergency teleport, and I get into Ghost Ogre. Okay, now this is one of my craziest plays that you can get into. So you're going to synchro 7, and you're going to get into FA Dawn Dragster. Dawn Dragster, you're going to put him in defense mode because more than likely you're going to use his ability to negate, and he'll always have 2,000 defense, so you'll be okay there. So then basically what you can do is you can banish both your Dinomorphias if, let's say, your opponent has a loaded field like Brandon likes to do, especially summon Ultimate Conductor. Then you can use Ultimate Conductor, pop FA Dragster, and you know, if they got a loaded board, hit for 5, deal 5,000 in turn, and then you draw to miscellaneous swords. So, you know, this deck, it does operate. It's very weird operating. I will be honest. Sometimes it pops off more synthetically than others, but if you know, if the thing you have to figure out, and it took me a while to figure it out, is how to float Diplos and Theresia into each other. And in order to do that, you have to utilize all 3 Rexturm, Kendrigina, and Stelbergia. You have to figure out, and I've already done this, if you can't tell, you have to figure out how to use all 3 of these. I'll move them to your way so you can actually see the card I'm talking about. Which, if you ain't seen them by now, I don't know what to tell you. So you have to figure out how to get these bad boys to float into these. And once you do, because they all float into each other and they just keep coming and keep coming, by your first or second turn, this guy should lock out the game for you, and you should have a pretty good board state and be able to stay alive. Because even if they Regeki Lightning Storm this, every single effect is going to go off. So when they all, if you Lightning Storm this, if you Regeki this, these all go to the graveyard at the same exact time. Which in fact, effect 1 goes off, Kentrigina. Effect 2 goes off, Theresia. Effect 3 goes off, Diplos. And they're kind of nuts. But in order to get Diplos or Theresia's effects to activate, what you first have to do is banish a trap. But these guys, it doesn't say that. It says if it's a short battle or card effect, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower, 1 level 6 or lower. It does not specify. So, you know, Diplos and Theresia, they have to have a cost in order to bounce back, where the fusions do not. And FA Dawn Dragster is just one of the ones that you can use for a negate, because it's very good for, like, if they go fucking, what's it called? Freaking branded fusion. Jesus, your branded fusion, you just reduce the attack of FA Dawn Dragster by, I think, what is it, like 200? Reduce this card's level by 2, and if you do negate the activation, so you got 3 negates if it stays on board that long for spell and traps, which is fantastic. Plus whatever you get into, but Dawn Dragster, like, you can get into it multiple ways. It's very, very good, and I love this deck because of how well the traps float into one another. If I could get rid of one, it would probably be Infinite Impermanence, just to add some ghost spells and stuff like that. Maybe cut permanence down to 2, add 2 ghost spells, and cut out that last effect failure. I think that might be able to work a little bit better. But this deck is definitely a tier 0 deck. I've not had a tier 0 deck in such a long time, and I'm glad to see that Dinomorphias are known in that category. And if you did not know Dinomorphias before this video, you will now know how dangerous they can be and what to watch out for. There is a way to beat this deck, don't get me wrong, but when you're staring down a Psycho and Punisher in the face, you don't really have a lot of chances for success. For one, we mill our life points so recklessly that this card becomes so damn powerful that you don't know what to do with. All you have to do is let this bad boy come out and let me get emergency teleport, successfully resolve both, summon this card, and you're dead. That's all it takes. And it's crazy how well this deck meshes. It meshes very, very well. So I guess I'm going to end the video here. Hopefully y'all enjoy. If you guys have any problems with the video and the quality, you let me know and I will redo the video. I think the video is just fine the way it is. I will review it and everything before I post it. If I think it's good enough, it will make it. If I don't think it is not, I'll redo it. You know, no big problems there. So let me go ahead and get these all together. So I do appreciate everybody who comes and watches my videos and who checks out my deck profiles. I do play at the Goblin Trader in Ironton, so if you ever swing by Ironton, Ohio and want to play a match with me or be with us in general, you let us know. We have a very, very competitive locals to where I've seen Branded, Ignister, Sky Striker. I've seen it all basically, and I have played at the YCS last year with Drytron and got top 13 because I was 13th in the whole YCS, and I've topped in 2 regionals with Drytron, and ever since then I have not topped with any of these decks. I've been able to make a rogue Blue Eyes deck that competed for a long time, but I think I'm gonna have to go with a branded package because it's just not enough. But you know, that's all the time I have for this video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below about this deck and about future decks. I do have an Exodia deck that I'm working on, and it should be done within the next week or two. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of this deck and my other deck profiles, and also the upcoming Exodia deck. And I promise I'm going to start getting more into my YouTube channel. I know I've been a little bleak, and I've been missing a lot of time when I could have been recording and doing stuff, but for the sake of, you know, life, I just haven't had my own personal space, and my mind hasn't been right in order to do videos, and I feel like your mind needs to be in the right place in order to do videos. So again, I do appreciate everybody who drops by. We're at 172 subs. I'm much grateful for that. We have 30,000 views on the channel. We're going strong, and this deck is my first one since I've started YouTube that is a tier 0 deck. This deck is insane. The win chances against this deck is at like a 3%, and that's if we are off to a bad start against Branded. I think Ignister could fight with this for a while, but it would eventually die. But besides that, there's not really a deck in the meta that is going to be able to stop this deck. It is ridiculously overpowered, and it does so much, and you don't really have much time to really fight through this deck because of how impactful it is, how explosive it is, and just all the non-activations that it causes you. You have to play beyond your monsters, and in today's meta where people use their monsters exclusively, especially me, it makes it really hard to play when you can't play any cards. So that's all the time I have for today. So hope you guys enjoy the video. I'm Pierce Nation, and I will see you in the next video. Pierce Nation out.